All right, everybody, what's good? What's going on? Welcome to another edition of Triple Threat Wrestling Radio right here on itmiradio.com and over at chillingbroadcasting.com as well. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I goes by the name of Kenny C, and thank you, everyone, for listening. Right now, I'm about to get Jeff on the line momentarily. The format of tonight's show is going to change just a little bit. And I'm going to get to the format change once Jeff gets on the line here. The format of the show is going to change just a little bit. Tonight we're going to recap Impact and Raw first 30 minutes. And there's Jeff on the line right now. What's going
What's up,
on?
man?
I'm good, man. First time in 2 weeks you on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it feels good to be back.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago you was in Texas. Last week you was in you had a meeting and here you are.
Yeah.
Uh
Yeah, thank God, huh?
yeah.
And I got to get out of here a couple of minutes early today
All right, that's
because I got a
fine.
meeting. I got a meeting at the 6 o'clock hour.
All right. Well,
See, I pushed it back.
the format of the show is gonna change just a little bit anyway. The first 30 minutes we're gonna recap Impact and Raw. The second 30 minutes I have interviews lined up. So, without further ado, let's get to the WWE portion of the show. And I start off with Randy Orton, clear to compete. If you recall, a few weeks ago, he suffered a concussion courtesy of Daniel Bryan. But Orton is back and he is ready to compete. He'll be facing Daniel Bryan tomorrow night on SmackDown. Also, there's going to be a general manager swap starting next Monday night. The board of directors of the WWE has announced that Teddy Long from SmackDown will be in charge of Raw, and John
Oh, God.
Laurinaitis from SmackDown will be in charge. John Laurinaitis from Raw will be in charge of SmackDown. So it's been a power struggle between these two to determine who's going to be in charge of both shows. So, and the two guys have been going at it verbally and physically, which kind of lead to people assuming that these two men, Teddy Long and John Laurinaitis, may end up facing each other at WrestleMania. I'm kind of hoping that's not going to happen, but that's what it looks like it is heading. Um, so there's your two stories there. Now let's go ahead and recap Monday Night Raw from this past Monday night. It was crazy, and I'll definitely get to the Rock's comments, his response to Cena, in just a moment. Also later on tonight, I got an interview with Olita Ortiz from Ohio Valley Wrestling. She called in at 8:30. And then the second interview, Michelle Myers, she calls in at 8:45. American Badass in the room saying anyone is better than Johnny Ace. He makes Mike Adamle look like $1,000,000. That is a good point there, Badass. I totally agree with you on that one. But WWE in the past have failed when it comes to general managers and such. I mean, you just put out a good example, Mike Annerly. We had John Laurinaitis. There was Vicky Guerrero. There were Eric Bischoff. I mean, WWE has totally bombed when it comes to general managers. Teddy Long is probably the only general manager I like out of all of them. So I hope he's in charge of both shows. But it looks like Laurinaitis may have the upper hand right now, considering that this guy could have lost his job last month or so, and yet he still has power. Uh, bring back Jack Tooney. Anyone other than Johnny Ace will work with me. Um, Monday Night Raw started off with CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan, but before those two faced off, Chris Jericho interrupted Punk, and the two went at it verbally, talking about best in the world. best of the world this, best of the world that. Come WrestleMania, it's not gonna be about what they say, it's about what they do in the ring. And you gotta think they kind of quietly talking to each other. Like, can you believe all this hype Rock and Cena been getting? We're gonna have the better match come WrestleMania. So I have a feeling that match is gonna be the highlight of WrestleMania, not Rock versus Cena. And so it will be Jericho's first WrestleMania since he came back. So that should be interesting. Kelly defeated one of the Bellas. That was short. John Cena defeated The Miz. The Miz losing streak continues. He's out there whining and moaning for a spot at WrestleMania. I do have an idea. Since Randy Orton's now clear from his concussion, he doesn't have a WrestleMania opponent. Why not have Orton versus The Miz? I mean, why not make that happen?
Do we really have to have Miz
Well,
wrestle?
well, he was there last year. Might as well.
So what?
I mean, look,
I could watch that event without him being there. Really easy.
well, he is one of their premier stars, like it or not. So he's gonna find a way somehow. He's gonna
That
find a
sucks.
spot. Now there was a WWE.com exclusive when the Miz was after his match with Cena. He was still begging for a spot, and then Triple H came in and pretty much gave him the pedigree. So, so I mean, Miz has been on a losing streak, and I guess that's a response to what happened at Survivor Series last year. I really don't know what all the fuss is about Miz and the Survivor Series. He did okay. He didn't suck or anything. He hang in there. But apparently, it's more than the Survivor Series. I think the Miz is in the doghouse right now, and he has to earn his spot back around here. So we'll see how that goes. Primo and Epico won the triple threat match to retain the tag team titles. They defeated R-Truth and I guess the little Jimmy of R-Truth, Kofi Kingston. Also defeated Swagger and Ziggler. And after that match ended came the return of the big red monster Kane. The last time we saw Kane was he was attitude adjusted from the ambulance into the floor and ended up being in the ambulance courtesy of John Cena at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. So Kane is back to cause a lot of carnage. How's Kane going to fit in WrestleMania? Well, that remains to be seen. But I don't see him going for a tag team title opportunity. He just want to send a message that he's back, and with he can't deal with Cena because Cena's got to deal with Rock. So Kane's up to something, and I'm sure WWE is going to sort that out. Also, Sheamus and Big Show defeated Cody Rhodes and Mark Henry. Eve Torres has gone from America's sweetheart to probably the most hated diva in the WWE right now. Even more hated than Natalia and Beth Phoenix. Now, if you recall on the previous Raw, Eve Torres talked about how she plays Zack Ryder and is going to do the same thing to John Cena. And John Cena caught her before she can do her anything. And Cena went ballistic, called her a hoski, sipping on the skank juice, and he didn't refer to her as a scandalous bitch. I'm just quoting what John Cena said. You look it up. It's on WWE.com somewhere. And of course, the highlight was The Rock respond to John Cena's comments. He called him a compound bitch or something like that. He also was like, you brag about you want to fight for the locker room. You don't fight for them. You fight for the fans. You fight for the people that pays their ticket. Now, I like The Rock. I'm beginning to feel like John Cena now. Like, I like The Rock, but I'm not a fan of Dwayne Johnson. Not the actor, not the guy who left the company to pursue Hollywood. Now, The Rock tried, and I use that term loosely, he tried to he tried to explain to himself. He tried to explain about coming in and leaving and say I'm not gonna leave. But bottom line is, I've been saying this on many occasions, and I'll still stand by it. He misled the fans, saying that, well, I'm back and I'm not going away. If you're gonna say that, that pretty much means you're gonna be on just about every week, even if you're not wrestling a full-time competitor anymore. Um, Bottom line is, The Rock, he can say whatever he wants about here. I love the WWE, and he does. He is a third generation wrestler. Um, he has writing on his arm. Oh, that's a good point. That is a good point. That's been a lot of heat from the Rock's writing on his arm as he was doing his promo, and that's kind of odd considering what that's like. That's like going to doing a movie or doing a play, and you don't know your lines. You don't know what to say, so you look at your arm on the writing and see what you have to say. That's kind of what that's like. And I didn't see that until one of my Facebook friends posted on their wall, and shout out to Justin Amazing for Now Live. He's a wrestling fan as well. He posted a picture of the Rock's arm with some writing on it. I don't know exactly what it said. It looks gibberish to me, but you would think a guy who's been doing this on many, many times. He's done many promos. He doesn't need writing on his arm. I mean, but then again, this is the same guy on many occasions talk about laying a smack down on people's candy ass or whatever. Or jabroni and know your role and shut your mouth. Uh, I wonder if John Cena's going to mention that on next Monday's Raw. Uh, Look, all The Rock had to do, all he had to do is say, you know what, I'm back. I'm going to keep in touch. I'm not going to be on every single week. That's all he had to say. Shawn Michaels, you didn't hear him when he did his Hall of Fame and Hall of Fame speech. You didn't hear him say, you know what, I'm gonna come back and keep in touch. That's all you have to say. Don't just say I'm coming back and I'm not gonna leave, and then you do leave. That's what Cena's been saying, and Cena didn't back off from what he said when he interrupted The Rock. So I thought it was a heck of a promo between the two, and it's pretty clear these two men cannot stand each other. I mean, this isn't just staged or choreographed. These
Yes, it
two,
is.
I mean, these two really hate each other.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. That's
I'm,
all fucking acting, dude. Come on.
I truly believe that these.
Well, they got you fucking hook, line, and sinker then.
I, I'm,
Sucker.
I'm telling you. I mean, this ain't staged. I mean, there's a legit dislike between the two men. I mean, otherwise, Rock wouldn't said the stuff that he would have said. Otherwise, Cena wouldn't said the things that he said. Did you not hear what he said? He talked about his peoples. He talked about, you know, Dwayne Johnson, and you heard what he said on Monday. He said, "I like The Rock. I just don't like Dwayne Johnson. I don't like the actor." So, I mean, you can take
Boy,
it.
they got you hook, line, and sinker, don't they?
I
They
mean,
got you sucked right in, dude.
I mean, you don't have to believe it, but I mean, if it's really acting, they wouldn't say certain things that's out of the ordinary. That's all I'm saying.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Bullshit.
I
Did
mean,
you learn from years past? You can say anything you want to these guys. It's just words. It don't mean nothing to them. You know that. Come on. What about the Shawn Michael and freaking Bret Hart incident? Have you ever seen the videos for that and CDs and DVDs when they were talking in the room and what they were going to say to each other? Come on, man.
well, I knew that the whole Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart thing, you know, I knew that as far as them being in the ring, I'm just saying backstage. I'm not just talking about inside the ring and them talking. I'm just talking backstage, behind the scenes and such. These two don't even like each other. Even if
Nah, yeah.
even even Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, when they released that DVD last year, they said that they didn't like each other at the time. When they were in their prime, back when Bret Hart was in the WWE, they didn't like each other. So yeah, there are times when when it's all staged and stuff, and yet there are times backstage, behind the scenes stuff that we can't see on TV. Some of these wrestlers don't necessarily like each other. They don't get along with each other. But yeah, at the end of the day, they go out there on national TV and handle their business. But I truly believe, backstage, outside the ring, John Cena and The Rock, they don't flat out like each other. But they doing what's best for business. And that's for these two to face off at WrestleMania. And I'll just leave it at that. Oh, and speaking of Shawn Michaels, as American Badass pointed out, he will be back on Monday Night Raw next week. Now that Triple H and The Undertaker were face off, how does Shawn Michaels how does Shawn Michaels feel knowing that his best friend's getting a third attempt to end the WrestleMania streak? And that match ain't gonna be as good as the match Shawn Michaels and Undertaker had. I mean, you the one pushed the Undertaker to the limit. The only difference is last year's WrestleMania, Triple H didn't win the match, but he did walk on his own 2 feet. So, an American Badass goes on to say the WWE needs to get rid of the Superman Cena gimmick. Well, that's up to Cena and that's up to Vince. Uh, as far as that's ever happening, you know, I honestly, and I'm a Cena fan, and even I have to admit, it's time to change. It's time to be a bad guy.
No, he can't be a bad guy, man. You got to
He
keep him a good guy forever.
he ain't.
Can't make him a bad guy.
He was a bad guy when he first started.
Exactly. Now you got to leave him a good guy for the rest of his career. You can't take him down like
Well,
that.
some people ended up being good guys for throughout their careers,
Right.
Like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. He was pretty much a
Well, he
good guy.
needs to do the same thing.
So, but yeah, I even I have to admit, the whole Cena thing is starting to wear off, and it doesn't hurt to be a bad guy. It's okay. Look at what happened to Eve Torres. She was America's sweetheart. Now she's booed all over the building. Sometimes
I don't. Yeah, see, that's a bunch of bullshit what they're doing with her too. So many storyline lines that got stuck.
sometimes you gotta switch things up a little bit. I'll leave it at that. Uh,
They need some new writers.
yeah, that wouldn't hurt. I I
No,
think
they need some new writers, man. Maybe I'll write some shit for them.
uh, for what I've heard a few years ago, Freddie Prince Jr. is one of the writers. Maybe it's his fault. Freddie Prince Jr. Maybe it's his fault. I don't know. But yeah, they do need to change things a little bit. They do need to storyline wise, and a lot of these storylines ain't going to change until after WrestleMania. So they just getting the end of the current storylines at hand, and then WrestleMania comes and gone, start things off fresh. Um, so hell, Bit Dick Johnson was a writer. How screwed up is that? Yeah. So it's time to change. It's time to switch things up. Get some new writers or something. Yeah, I agree. Get some new writers around here. You maybe. Yeah, the same Big Dick Johnson who's dancing all over the place with his underwear or whatever. Those are some moments. That's some moments we'll never get back. Oh, and the rated R superstar Edge is going to be hitting the big screen. He's in a new movie called uh, Bending the Rules with Jamie Kennedy. Uh, and that's coming out, I think, sometime in March, next week or so. And you know how WWE does with these movies. It's on for a couple of weeks and then comes out on DVD, so no need to go further there. And that's obviously Edge's new career now that his wrestling career is over. You know, he was on the sci fi TV show Haven, so now he's focusing on movies as well. And American Badass says get rid of Vince. I think we all know that's not going to happen. The only way that Vince McMahon is no longer in charge is that he passed away. Yeah, and that's not going to happen anytime soon. Vince McMahon ain't going away. Oh, and the first guest is called in 8 minutes early. Let me go ahead and add her to the call. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest at this time, my first guest at this time, coming to you from Louisville. She is from OVW. She is also on other shows such as UWF, USWF, and other companies. I'm joined with Alita Ortiz right here, right now, 8 minutes early. Hello, Alita.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing real good. First and foremost, it was nice meeting you at the UWF Vixen show a couple of weeks ago. And two, thank you for being
Nice
on the
meeting you too.
and number two, thank you for being on the show.
Uh, I appreciate it. Thank you.
So, Alita, why don't you go ahead, tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and how did your wrestling career got started?
I moved here from Puerto Rico like 3 years ago. I've always been a wrestling fan. One day a neighbor suggested I should become a pro wrestler, so everything clicked right in.
All right, so let's talk about this match you have coming up on Sunday, I believe. UWF over there at Georgetown, Kentucky. You're going up against Amazing Maria. You two have quite the rivalry. And not to mention Raven, a WWE wrestler. He's been in WCW, ECW, and TNA. He's going to be there as well. Talk about what's your thoughts of Raven being on the show and how you feeling about this match coming up with Maria on Sunday.
Raven, I've heard great things. I'm looking forward to meeting him. He's a class act. We'll probably learn a lot from him. And Maria, well, this would be our third match. She's a worthy competitor. I'm looking forward to give it the best I got and give a good show.
Now, I also want to talk about the Vixen show for a couple of weeks ago. You were one of the participants on there. You were at the Battle Royal, and then you had a match against Epiphany. What was it like to be a part of an all-woman wrestling show?
That would have been my second one. I did my first one. I debuted with Arena Chicks at the Juggalo Gallery. It was real fun time. It's usually very nice to be around so many talented ladies that have similar things in common, like the love of pro wrestling. Um, it was a great experience for me.
Now, Felony Fox, who's part of UWF, posted on her Facebook that your match versus Epiphany was the best match of the night. And Felony Fox, she's been in this business for quite a while. How did that feel to get high praise from Felony?
I really appreciate it. After meeting her and getting to know her a little bit, I have a lot of trust in her. She's a great woman that I respect and looking forward to getting to work with her more and learning more. So I'm really glad to have met her.
Again, I'm joined with Alita Ortiz, the Latin Beast, right here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. Now, let me ask you this: do you have any other upcoming matches other than UWF in the coming weeks and coming months?
Yeah, I might be wrestling Jezebel's Mothers at USWF, United States Wrestling. And I'm also very excited about a custom match against Mischief. If everything goes all right, I will be wrestling Mischief, and that would be pretty cool. She's a wrestler I really admire.
Speaking of Mischief, she's also on MLW, which you are referring to. This is your second appearance on MLW, and
Yeah, that would be my second.
so and March 10th is the date when Alita, Mischief, and among other talented female wrestlers will be there. You gotta check it out, MLWonline.com. If you want to book Alita in a match against Mischief or any of the other females that are listed on the main page, go to MLWonline.com for more info. It's pretty obvious you want a match against Mischief. Is there any other wrestlers out there? And I'm also hearing that Burgundy from UWF, she's going to be at the MLW tapings as well. But is there any other wrestlers from that taping you like to have matches with or against?
I don't know if the expiration date already hit, but I've seen other girls that I would love to work with. Nevea, I'm not sure how to pronounce that.
Yeah, Nevaeh.
She is Nevea. She's ex Shimmer Tag Champ. She's really good. Melanie Cruz, I think, would be there. Sassy Steffi, who works for you, Women's Superstars
Yeah,
Uncensored. I think those are the ones that come to mind.
Safi Steffi is from WSU. So yeah, she's gonna be there, and Melanie Cruz, she'll be there. A lot of other talented wrestlers will be there. Um, Let me ask you this: I noticed on your Facebook you are a huge fan of one Sarah Del Rey, and
I am.
without a doubt, she is one of the best in the business today. What do you like the most about Sarah Del Rey?
I like her for being tough and a strong woman that stands up for herself. That's something I like a lot in her. She looks like she has worked very hard to get to the point where she's at. Like she has not had anything handed to her, and she's just an amazing wrestler.
I totally agree. Sarah Del Rey is indeed one of a kind. If there's one wrestler out there that you want to check out her matches or learn from, it's definitely Sarah Del Rey. So, um, who are some of your other influences in your wrestling career?
I also like Kana. Um, she's a Japanese wrestler. She has done Shimmer and Chikara here. She's very stiff. She kicks. She's a hard hitter, and she's really good.
Oh, and just an update on the UWF Vixens show. It's now available on DVD. You got to go to the UWF shows to get one. I believe they'll be available at the merchandise area on Sunday during the Raven show. So if you're in the Georgetown area, go check out Alita for UWF. She's going up against Amazing Maria. And I do have a question in the chat room from Browning Bastard. Yep, that is his username.
All right.
He wants to know who's your favorite wrestler in. I guess this is a two-part question. Who's your favorite
Yeah.
wrestler in the WWE, and who's your favorite wrestler in TNA?
Like currently.
Yeah, currently.
Um, I guess WWE. I don't watch them a lot. I'm mostly watch Japanese wrestling and the indie circuit here. Uh, it would be Beth Phoenix in WWE and TNA. I used to like before I had my whole transformation into Sarah Rayaholic. I used to like Victoria slash Tara from TNA right now. I haven't watched TNA for a little bit, but she's still a favorite.
All right, good choice, Taylor. I met her years ago when she was with the WWE. She's a sweetheart, and the fact that she's still wrestling to this day at a high level is very impressive. Um,
Yeah.
so let's talk Ohio Valley Wrestling, which you are a part of. Um, and considering that OVW is now the official developmental territory for TNA, and you being under the OVW roster, what's your thoughts on OVW and TNA joining forces?
I think it's a great opportunity for Ohio Valley Wrestling. I hope they do bring down a lot of good female talent to work with. Uh, I don't think as of yet that has happened, but I have faith um, because we ladies at the OVW, uh, we need to get our learning experience in. It would be really helpful.
All right, and what's your thoughts on the current roster of OVW? They got a lot of talented competitors, male and female. I know you on there. I know Kayla Marie, she's on there. I interviewed her a couple of weeks ago. What's your take on the current roster of Ohio Valley Wrestling?
There's a whole bunch of hardworking women.
Okay.
Josie's there, CJ Lane, Epiphany, uh, Taylor. The Blossoms, I'm not sure if they're coming back. They're still promoting OVW, so maybe. Um, a lot of hardworking women I've had the pleasure to train with, and a lot I can learn from each and every single one of them. And looking forward to how you match it and growing as a wrestler.
Why don't you go ahead and tell the listeners how they can get in contact with you, learn more info from you, your Facebook links and Twitter.
Twitter, I believe it's Aleida underscore Ortiz, and Facebook, I got a page and a fan page. Like I would add you as a friend in one, and you could like the other one. You just search my name, Aleida Ortiz, and look for my picture, and Aleida Ortiz's fan page. That will be the page. Or you can search it facebook.com/A Ortiz OVW.
All right. Definitely add her to your friends on Facebook and like her fan page on Facebook as well. She'll keep you posted on upcoming matches, events, anything else of that nature. She's joining me right now here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. Keep an eye on this lady. She's got a lot of things to come. And I gotta ask you about that body slam you did on Epiphany. I mean, that was one of the highlights of the night. Uh, and Epiphany, she's a big girl, and she doesn't get power slam or body slam that often. She doesn't, and you pulled it off. I mean, what was your reaction when you body slam her?
Yeah, Epiphany might be a big girl, but I am a strong girl. So I've been practicing a lot. I've done body slams and you name it, big, small, medium sized. and I was confident that I would pull it off.
That was like a female version of Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant, and you pulled it off. And I gotta say, I'm definitely a fan of you. You have a lot of potential. You're on the way up, and you are willing to get a lot better. And I can honestly
I am.
tell, I can honestly tell by talking to you that you truly love and care for this business, and uh, you you're on the way up. And I wish you more success going forward. Um, what are some other goals do you have to set for yourself for the remainder of the year? Is there any championships you want to achieve? Anything else you want to accomplish in 2012?
I think I'm gonna try getting my name out there on the Midwest, and my biggest goal on the United States soil would be to do shimmer. I think I'm a long way from there, but I'll keep working hard at it because that's like the main women's promotion here, and it's filled with so much great talent that I would love to work there and grow. And
Oh,
yeah, I am very determined. I love wrestling. I respect women's wrestling, and I want to do my best to earn my earn respect and show the fans and everyone watching that women can be as good as the boys, if not better. If you train hard, you will achieve your dreams.
all right. And my last question for you is, what would your advice be to anyone out there that wants to pursue their career in wrestling? What would your advice be?
Find a good wrestling school, train, do not give up, and if you really love wrestling, you will stay there until you know you get what you want. Be nice to people and respectful. Shake hands and just always be looking forward to becoming better. Don't get comfortable.
Well put. Again, Alita Ortiz will be going up against Amazing Maria this Sunday in Georgetown, Kentucky. For more info on the UWF, which is the United Wrestling Federation, you can go to their Facebook fan page, like their fan page. They give you more infos on the Raven show and future shows. Plus, if you do go to a future UWF show, you can purchase the Vixens DVD 2012. They cost $7, and you can also purchase the 2011 Vixen DVD as well. If you want them combined, they're $12. So go to UWF over at Georgetown and check them out. Now, Alita,
Yeah,
oh, go
I
ahead.
can't wait to get my hands. I can't wait to get my hands on my copy because everybody seems to like that match.
There you go. So before we let you go, I asked all guests to do this. It's like a station ID. It's like a voice drop. All you have to do is say your name, and right after you say your name, you say you are listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. If you can do that for me, I truly appreciate it.
Say what?
All you have to do is say your name, and
Mhm.
right after you say your name, you say you are listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio.
This is Aleida Ortiz, and you are listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio.
Thank you so much for your time, Alita. Best of success goes out to you. I look forward to seeing you
Thank you.
wrestling more. Do you have any final words?
Just be sure to check out my match on Sunday. I don't wrestle very often. I'm trying to keep it low, but and to learn a little bit. I'll be sure to make it a great one, the best I can give. Macy Maria is amazing, and it's gonna be an awesome match. Please be sure to check it out. And Raven at UWF. It's a show not to miss.
Absolutely. Raven will be there for a meet and greet 5 to 6. And the show itself begins at 6:30, I believe, over at Georgetown, Kentucky, United Wrestling Federation. Thank you for your time, Alita. Best of success
Thank
goes out
you.
to you, and you have a good night.
You too.
All right, bye bye.
Bye.
That was the Latin Beast Alita Ortiz right here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. And trying to see if Jeff, you still there? He did tell me he had to leave to go to a meeting. I think he may have to leave a little bit early. He's not even in the chat room. But please check out the United Wrestling Federation show with Raven on there. I wish I can be there, but unfortunately I have to work. I won't be able to attend. And to all other people that just joining me in the chat room, hello and welcome. Second guest coming up is Michelle Myers, KZW Women's Champion. And then I will eventually recap Impact. I didn't get a chance to recap Impact. So Michelle Myers, KZW Women's Champion, she's coming up. And I'm trying to see if Jeff is on here. Let me see if I can. I don't know what happened. But the second guest is calling in right now. And let me go ahead and add her to the conference here. Ladies and gentlemen, my second guest at this time, also from the Kentucky area. You can catch her on KZW, and she is the current women's champion. I am joined with Michelle Myers right here, right now. Good evening, Michelle.
Hey, how you doing, Kenny?
I'm doing real good, and thank you so much for being on the show tonight.
And thank you for having me.
You are welcome. So, talk a little bit about yourself and how did your wrestling career got started?
Well, my wrestling career got started because it's kind of like a family business, and it was kind of one of those things that I wanted to try something different, and I just kind of wanted to prove to myself that I could do it. That's kind of how that got started. And then I just kind of really got into the sport and just like really started liking it.
All right. So you compete for KZW, and like I said at the intro, you are currently the women's champion. For those
Yes.
who may not know what KZW is, talk a little about the company.
KZW, it's based out of Somerset, Kentucky. It runs in Liberty, Kentucky. It also runs down in Boyle County, which is Danville, Kentucky. KZW is like a family-friendly show. It's we kind of do the thing with the wrestling, try to show everybody it's kind of a sport and kind of like not a brutal activity. We do everything a little bit different than other shows. We kind of do things kind of like the kids' corner is what we call it. And with the kids' corner, we do like the intermission pictures with the kids, free autographs. They do giveaways. Even the commissioner kind of plays games and stuff during the intermission. And KZW kind of limits what's said and done so the kids can watch and the moms can kind of approve.
Now, you being the women's champion, you won the match from a wrestler named Venus. And y'all two have been going at it for quite a while, and you won the title from her. I mean, how does it feel? How does it feel to be the current women's champion?
It feels pretty good because I've been competing against her, trying to win the title for like about 4 months now. So
Well,
it feels really
definitely,
good.
definitely, congratulations to you on that. Do you have anything else in the works other than KZW? You got any wrestling matches coming up?
I got a few things in the works. I kind of haven't got a confirmation on it yet, but I'm doing mainly KZW only because it fits in really good with my work schedule and things like that right now.
Now, do you have a now? Yeah, you're obviously focusing on KZW right now. That's your main focus.
Yeah.
But do you have like any future goals? Like maybe you want to compete for OVW or any other wrestling company to expand yourself, or you're just comfortable being at KZW right now?
Well, KZW is the only place in Kentucky that I work for. I also work for SCCW, which is based out of Tennessee. I'm going to be working at some point for King Cantrell at BCW. We're trying to fit his stuff in with mine, with stuff that I've already got going. But yeah, I'm going to try to get out there a little bit more. Like I said, I've been mainly doing with KZW because it kind of fits in with work schedule and stuff. But yeah, I'm going to try to get out there to a few more places, kind of expand out. I worked for OCW this past summer too. I worked a fair show for them, so I could possibly be doing some more stuff for Kerry Campbell maybe.
All right. So, who do you consider as influences in your wrestling career?
Are you talking about from influences from TV or like in the
It
indies?
could be TV, it could be WWE, TNA, indie circuit, anything.
Well, influences from WWE would be Beth Phoenix and Michelle McCool. TNA would probably have to be Mickey James because she's one of my favorites. And for local indies, I really like Rebecca Lynn. I've worked with her, absolutely adore her. I look up to Rebecca Lynn. I look up to Misty James a lot. So
Again, I'm joined with the KZW Women's Champion Michelle Myers right here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. Now, Michelle, I find it interesting. Michelle McCool, Michelle kind of goes hand in hand.
yeah.
So do you have like a dream match? If you could have a dream match against any wrestler, male, female, dead or alive, anyone that you may have already faced or haven't faced against, what would your dream match be, and who would your opponent be?
Okay, well, I'd have to do that two different ways. I would say that if I could have my dream match with any star, it would have to be, it would definitely have to be, hard. Probably Mickey James, because like I said, I don't know, I like the way she works, and I would just probably, it would have to be Mickey James for as far as being a star. And if you would ask me for the independent scene, like indies wrestling, Misty James, because she's the main one that I want to try, the next one that I want to work.
All right, Misty James. That's a good choice. She's well respected here in the east, in the Midwest area, in the South, out there in Tennessee. Um,
hmm
so let me ask you this: why don't you go ahead and tell the listeners how they can get in touch with you? You have any Facebook links or anything else that you want to spread the word on?
Yeah, you can go to newkzw.com. That's our official website, and also we have the KZW official wrestling fan site, which is on Facebook, and then there's a Michelle Myers official Facebook page. You can contact me, get in touch with me through any of those.
All right, so definitely check it out. KZW Killzone Wrestling. Check that out. It's over at the Summer West, Kentucky area, and it's going to be in other areas in Kentucky as well. So they'll keep you posted on that. New KZW.com is the link. And like Michelle's Facebook fan page and her personal page as well. Just search Michelle Myers. Uh, can't miss it. Now, a few weeks ago, you wrestled against a wrestler named Cheyenne Sexton, and she's part of the KZW roster as well. Um,
Yes, sir.
what was it like being in the ring with Cheyenne?
Cheyenne, she's a really good, tough competitor, and she's really awesome, kind of inside and outside the ring. And hopefully, she will be back at KZW pretty soon, and I'll get the chance to take her on again. It was an incredible experience. I think everybody that I work with is an incredible experience because you always learn something new, experience from each and every match that you go in.
Absolutely. And let me ask you this: what's your thoughts on women wrestling in general right now? Where do you think where it's at as far as the wrestling world is concerned? You think because there's a lot of talented women wrestling. It's not necessarily WWE and TNA, but the indie circuit. I feel like the indie circuit women wrestlers have moved up and is right up there, if not even higher. What's your take on the state of women wrestling right now?
I think that the women in the sport, they are getting more established, and they are getting hired. A lot of the people, they come for ladies matches, and a lot of them they look for just the ladies matches, and not as looking at them as eye candy, but just as tough competitors as the guys now. Because a lot of the women you see them, they're just as tough, if not tougher than some of the guys.
Yeah, women wrestling has definitely come a long way. Started off as manager and valets, and I mean they actually wrestle, and
Yeah,
they kick butt as well. You know, male and female. So,
that's
women,
the way I
women,
look at it too, because I started off as a manager and a wrestler. That's actually what I done. I was a manager in Tennessee for a year, and then I started down here in Kentucky as a manager of valet for 2 years. And then I kind of started doing like run-in spots, learning a little bit here and there. And I only really, and I mean like dedicated to training and like actually doing the wrestling thing about 6 months ago. And I started in training with Johnny Bad and Chief Tomahawk, a little bit with Marvelous Mike. They're the trainers at KZW, and I learned so much. And I guess that kind of made me appreciate the sport even more. Is the more you learn and the more you can do.
absolutely. Again, I am joined with KZW Women's Champion Michelle Myers, right here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. Before we end this interview, before I let you go, Michelle, I ask all guests to do this. It's like a station ID, it's like a voice drop. All you have to do is say your name, and right after you say your name, you say you are listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio,
Okay.
and you go right ahead.
This is Michelle Myers, and you're listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Michelle, and I hope I can see you wrestle in person one time.
You
You
should come out to the April 13th show. Or, like I said, we're making our debut. It's Friday, April the 13th in Danville at the Bull County Fairgrounds.
That's like an hour from me, so I definitely will make plans to go there. So, um, I'll definitely
Hopefully, I might be taking on Shine Sexton that night. So,
that'd be even better. So, that would be great. Again, thank you for your time, Michelle. Best of success with you and KZW going forward. You have any final words?
no, I thank you for the opportunity to be on here.
You're absolutely welcome, and you have a good night.
Okay, you too. Thank you, Kenny.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
All right, bye bye.
All right, that was the KZW Women's Champion Michelle Myers, right here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. And you can listen to this and many more on chillinbroadcasting.com. If you are in the Triple Threat Wrestling Radio Facebook fan page, actually in the chat room, excuse me, you can like the fan page. It's over there on the left side of the chat room, right where it says like our Facebook page. Just click on it. It'll lead you right into the fan page. You can like it. Gives you more info on upcoming shows and interviews, etc. Now, before I end tonight's show, I got to get to the recap on Impact here. Matt Morgan and Crimson lost to Samoa Joe and Magnus. Apparently, there's friction and tension between Morgan and Crimson. So be on the lookout for that. Andrew says he has a game online Sunday at 11:30. Is that 11:30 a.m. or 11:30 p.m.? As in close to midnight, whatever. Because if it's 11 a.m., I won't be able to because I have to work. I'll probably be at church, then I have to work. So I don't know, Andrew, if it's 8 a.m. or it's 11:30 a.m. So, and where can I watch this game of yours, Andrew? If you have a link for it, go ahead and post it. Um, Brendan Jacobs, and I wish Jeff was here for this because he's a huge New York Giants fan. He made an appearance on Impact, and he actually put Bully Way through a table. Then you had Zima Ion defeated Alex Shelley. And you have Gail Kim defeated ODB. Speaking of friction and tension, there's friction and tension between Gail Kim and Madison Rain. If you recall, the Thursday prior, Madison Rain won the Battle Royal out of nowhere and become the number one contender for the Knockouts Championship. So Gail Kim's security blanket is now the number one contender. Hey, at the end of the day, you can only look for one thing and one thing only. That's the top spot. So I find that kind of interesting. And AJ Styles defeated Robbie E. And that's pretty much your TNA Impact update of last Thursday night. Next Thursday, I have 2 interviews scheduled. One with Jesse K from Maryland. Another is Becky Kennedy from Florida. Be on the lookout for that. And then March the 15th, WSU's Radiant Rain will be on the show. On the 22nd, a wrestler from Florida named Jelena, she'll be on. And now confirmed on the 29th, a Tennessee wrestler, Miss Rachel, will be on. That's going to be our WrestleMania preview. So, yeah, I just roll with the punches, I guess. I just go with the flow. Jeff will be on tomorrow night, Rap Bastard Sports Show. And then Chillin' is on Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, over at itmiradio.com. Please check out the website, chillinbroadcasting.com. The Chillin' Broadcasting Network. This show is a part of that network. Triple Threat Wrestling Radio is going to be a 24/7 station, so you can listen to past shows and interviews and such. I need to be your cameraman for your interviews when you go to the wrestling events. That will be very cool, Andrew. But unfortunately, I won't be going to wrestling shows anytime soon. I have to sort some things out. I got to sort some things out, so I won't be going to any of the wrestling shows anytime soon. Well, at least I have an excuse why I can't go to the UWF show. I have to work. So, 12:30 to 7, 12:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. And I'm going to be working all weekend long, working on Friday tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. So I'm jam-packed. Oh, and before I get out of here, Bobby Roode will be facing Sting. Sting is no longer going to be the guy in charge. I'm assuming he's back to being a competitor. He's going to challenge Bobby Roode at Victory Road in a couple of weeks. We're going to make our pay-per-view picks 2 weeks from tonight. Remember, there's no pay-per-view for WWE in March. The next pay-per-view for WWE is WrestleMania on April Fool's Day. I want to thank Alita Ortiz and Michelle Myers for being on the show tonight. Thank you everyone for listening. You all have a good night. I go by the name of Kenny C, and I'm signing off. You all have a good night. See you this Saturday on Chillin' with Jeff Kenny C, and see you next Thursday night on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. Oh, and one more thing. The 1-year anniversary of Triple Threat Wrestling Radio is coming. April the 12th. April the 12th is the date for this show's 1 year anniversary is coming. So keep an eye on that. Again, I'm Kenny C, and I'm signing off. Peace out. Here we go.